What's up, budget builders? My name is Trail, and today we have some updated news regarding when we can expect the passing of the bipartisan infrastructure bill, as well as the larger $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation package. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told colleagues on Saturday that they need a little more time, as if we didn't already know that. The Democrats failed to pass the two infrastructure packages earlier last week because of the backlash from the progressives and the moderate Democrats. Both of these packages, the $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill and the $3.5 trillion social spending bill, go hand in hand. These were originally designed to be passed at the same time, in tandem order. But over the past few months, there have been two senators in opposition to the larger stimulus bill, saying that $3.5 trillion is just way too much money. Senators Joe Manchin and Senator Kyrsten Sinema are proposing for a much smaller package than suggested. Joe Manchin specifically only wants to support up to $1.5 trillion, which is more than half less than the current price tag. But according to the Democrats' fearless leader, Bernie Sanders, he said that they have already negotiated the price tag of this bill and it is not up for negotiation. Bernie said that they originally wanted $6 trillion spending for this bill, but they compromised it down to only $3.5 trillion. So, as of late last week, the Democrats was able to avoid a government shutdown. Democrats had to get creative in this process, in which they passed a short-term spending bill that would extend government funding, which was set to expire at midnight on Friday morning. So, now that the Democrats have a pretty busy week moving forward, in which they still need to extend the debt ceiling, which the money that they have available right now is expected to run out near October the 18th. If the Democratic-led administration wants to prevent the U.S. government from defaulting, they must raise that debt ceiling within the next week or so. Now, we also have information regarding the timeline of when we can expect both stimulus packages to actually pass. So far, the bipartisan bill has passed in the Senate, but waiting to be passed in the House. And the larger package, the budget reconciliation bill, still needs to be finalized and passed in the Senate and in the House. But that price tag, $3.5 trillion, is not sitting well with lawmakers. Now, those are just some of the topics that we are going to cover today. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. On this channel, we talk about finance, credit cards, Bitcoin and crypto, and stimulus update news. So, if you're interested in any of those, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. That way you can join our community. Also, if you end up liking the content in this video, or even laughing at one of my jokes, then be sure to like this video. Other than that, guys, hey, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We have two senators that are preventing both infrastructure packages from passing right now, and that is Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kyrsten Sinema. They are both in opposition of the larger stimulus package bill because of its price tag, $3.5 trillion. Everyone else in the Senate is riding with their party and plan to vote in favor of both packages. The Democrats are in a pickle right now when it comes to voting and passing these pieces of legislation. And that is because they need 50 votes. And unfortunately, they only have around 48 votes. Manchin and Sinema continue to stand between the Democrats and passing these two stimulus packages. Now, recently, the Arizona Democrats have become angry and frustrated with Kyrsten Sinema as she continues to oppose of passing this stimulus bill. For those that don't know, she is a freshman in the Senate this year, and the Democrats are already talking about voting for someone else when it's time for re-election in 2024. I know that's a long way, guys, but as a freshman, she is writing her last years in office right now, as she has opposed several things in the past for the Democrats, like raising the minimum wage and abolishing the Senate filibuster and much more. They are saying that she is pretty much laying out the red carpet for her challenger in the next election, and Arizona is already talking about raising lots of funds to make sure that she is not reelected. What do you guys think about that? But apparently, her being a Democrat and coming in and not voting with her own party is not what the Dems wanted to see in the first year in office. They said that they knew that they were electing a moderate Democrat, but didn't expect someone to leave them high and dry on all of these issues, and saying that she has crossed the line at this point. So it doesn't look like Sinema has a future on the Democratic side. But from what I have seen, the Republicans might want to invite her over to the other side. I'm just saying, guys, I'm just saying. Now in other news, new details were released on Saturday regarding when we can expect the infrastructure bills to be voted on. The House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, sets a deadline for the Democrats. She said the deadline for the infrastructure vote is at the end of October. The deadline for the House to pass the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill is set for October the 31st. She actually wrote a letter to her colleagues. She said that more time was needed to pass the infrastructure bill, along with the larger $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation package, after scrambling over the past 2 days to get enough votes. Now, in this letter, she wrote, there is an October 31st surface transportation authorization deadline, and after last night's passage of the critical 30-day extension, we must pass the bipartisan infrastructure framework well before then. The sooner, the better, to get the jobs out there. She also went on to acknowledge the two dynamics that clashed in the past few days, adding that out of respect for our colleagues who support the bills and out of recognition for the need for both, I would not bring the bipartisan infrastructure framework to the floor to fail. And she closed it with, again, we will and must pass both bills soon. We have the responsibility and the opportunity to do so. People are waiting and want results. So it seems like Pelosi is still optimistic about passing both bills sometime this month and placed a timeline or a deadline of when it should be done. It's going to be a very tough mountain to climb, but the Democrats are not giving up just yet. I'm sure the Republicans are just laughing away right now as they are in the background causing chaos in the Democratic Party. And while sitting back laughing, not one single Republican is planning on helping the Democrats pass any piece of legislation, not even the debt ceiling increase. Their hope is that they fall on their face and their feet and hoping that the American people will see what the Democrats did and choose to vote for the other side come election in 2022. Now, in other news, former President Trump continues to be in the news every single day. Right now, he is still putting the pressure on the governor in Texas to go forward with the election audit similar to the one that they performed in Arizona. Governor Greg Abbott agreed to perform a 2020 election audit as requested by former President Trump, but Abbott only agreed to perform it in 4 counties. Well, apparently that wasn't big enough for Trump. So now Trump adds more pressure to Governor Abbott for more counties and to perform a forensic election audit. I don't even know what that is, guys, but for myself, I'm confused as to why Trump wants this election audit done in Texas. And quite frankly, it actually caught Governor Abbott off guard. But anyways, Trump won this state with no question about it. So I'm not sure exactly why he insists on having this audit performed. But anyways, guys, hey, Trump still doesn't have the microphone and the ability of saying whatever he wants to say when he wants to say it to the American people. And as of now, Trump has to relate his voice or his words or his verbiage through other representatives. But we just found out that Trump has asked the U.S. judge to force Twitter to restart his account. Trump filed a request for a preliminary injunction against Twitter. Trump said that Twitter was coerced by members of Congress to suspend his account. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I actually miss his tweets. I actually had him on push notifications on my cell phone just to follow along with what he had to say every single morning around 8 a.m. Twitter and several other social media platforms banned Trump from their services after the attack on Capitol Hill in January. Twitter has declined to comment on this filing from former President Trump. Also in the news, YouTube is cracking down on anti-vax misinformation. The company announced that it would be beefing up its misinformation policies to crack down on anti-vaccine misinformation regarding COVID-19 vaccinations. Under the new policy, YouTube will terminate the channels of what it calls vaccine misinformation spreaders. YouTube has already terminated a few accounts in relation to this and will be actively trying to keep a safe and effective platform for people to watch videos as well as for people to post videos. So I hope this video doesn't get banned from YouTube because I'm just talking about the news here. But anyways, guys, hey, my time is up for today. This has been your 4th stimulus check update for today. Now, if you enjoyed any of this information or found it to be useful, be sure to hit the like button for us. It definitely helps out a lot, and it also tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community, and hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, as always, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.